That feeling when you wake up from a terrifying nightmare and for a split second you're just like so relieved it wasn't real.
Oh yeah, totally.
But imagine waking up and the nightmare is your actual reality. And the absolute worst part is realizing it is entirely your own fault.
Yeah, that is exactly the kind of visceral point-of-no-return terror we are unpacking today.
Right, so welcome to today's deep dive. We are exploring a deeply chilling detail in one of the world's most famous Renaissance paintings, and, well, tracing its roots back to an ancient biblical text about ultimate judgment.
And I mean, we have to start by setting the scene in the Sistine Chapel, right?
Exactly, because when you picture the Sistine Chapel, you probably immediately see Michelangelo's ceiling.
Yeah.
You know, the bright, iconic, triumphant scenes from Genesis.
Right, but we are looking at the altar wall. He painted this massive fresco called The Last Judgment there, a full 24 years after he finished that famous ceiling.
Wait, 24 years? That is a huge gap.
It really is. And the tone shift between those two works is just staggering. I mean, the ceiling is optimistic, but The Last Judgment is heavy, it's chaotic, and frankly, terrifying.
Wow. So what changed for him?
Well, you have to remember, Michelangelo was an older man by then. The political and religious landscape of Europe had completely fractured, and Rome itself had been violently sacked.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that darker, much more cynical worldview basically bleeds directly into the plaster.
That makes so much sense. And there is one specific figure in all that chaos who perfectly captures that waking nightmare feeling we were talking about.
Yes, the guy known as the Damned One.
Right. Demons are literally dragging him down into hell.
Yeah.
But it is his posture that just really sticks with you. He has his left hand covering his left eye.
It's like he's trying to physically block out a reality he just cannot bear to accept.
Exactly. It is utter despair. But then, if you look at his right eye, it is wide open, just staring straight ahead.
It's so unsettling. That one open eye is the physical embodiment of sheer terror.
Yeah, it is the exact moment of realization. He knows his eternal fate, and he knows there's absolutely no going back.
Right.
Which really makes me wonder, what exactly gets someone dragged down into that specific kind of hell?
Well, the painting actually doesn't leave us guessing. This imagery ties directly back to a very specific ancient text.
You mean the Gospel of Matthew, right?
Exactly, chapter 25. It describes the Son of Man returning to gather all nations. And he separates humanity into two groups, much like a shepherd separates sheep from goats.
Right, so the sheep, the righteous, go to the right, and the goats go to the left.
Yep.
But here is where I want to push back a little, or at least point something out. Historically, a lot of religious texts focus heavily on, strict rituals or pledging allegiance to a specific dogma.
Right, to achieve salvation.
Exactly. But that is not what is happening here at all.
No, not at all. The criteria for this ultimate judgment has absolutely nothing to do with religious rituals.
It's based entirely on practical mercy, isn't it?
Yes. The righteous are welcomed into eternal life simply because they fed the hungry, gave water to the thirsty, welcomed the stranger, and visited the sick and imprisoned.
But the twist here is just fascinating. The righteous are completely confused by this. They literally ask, "When did we see you hungry and feed you?"
Right. They didn't know they were serving the divine. They just saw humans in need and helped them.
Which reveals a pretty radical theological concept for the time.
It really does. True faith in this text is inextricably linked to compassion for the marginalized, or what the text calls the least of these.
Right, because the divine figure replies, "Whatever you did for the least of these, you did for me."
Exactly. But then you have to look at the flip side, the goats on the left.
Okay, yeah. Wait, so you're telling me someone could lead a generally decent, rule-following life, but because they simply didn't notice a stranger in need, they get the same ultimate punishment as, like, a murderer?
I know, it feels incredibly harsh for a sin of omission.
It really does.
But it is harsh, and that is exactly why it is so terrifying. The failure of the goats wasn't an act of malice.
It was just a failure to notice.
Right. They ignored the hungry and the sick, and the crazy part is, they are just as surprised. They ask when they failed to help.
Because they were simply too busy or too distracted to see the suffering right in front of them.
Exactly. In this framework, ignoring the marginalized is equated to ignoring the divine.
Wow. That really makes you look at your own daily tunnel vision, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Like in your own busy life, who are the least of these around you right now? Has being overwhelmed or maybe just staring at your phone caused you to overlook people who actually need help?
It's a deeply uncomfortable mirror.
Okay.
We tend to measure a successful life by wealth, status, and power.
Right.
But this text strips all of that away. It measures a life's worth by how well we care for those who have absolutely none of those things.
So the next time you are tempted to cover your eye, to block out an uncomfortable reality, remember that waking nightmare from the fresco. Keep both eyes open.
That's a really great point.
And I want to leave you with one final thought to ponder today. If this ancient text judges humanity based on how we treat the most overlooked people in society, how does modern technology change that equation?
That is a really good question.
Right. As algorithms, remote work, and automation increasingly hide the human labor that runs our world, who are the new, invisible, marginalized people we are failing to see entirely?